Plus, can you hold that sheet up on the fan cam, or is that proprietary information?
No, I just was making notes while I was doing my show yesterday. I was just watching.
Is that the guys running and working out?
Yeah, I just put down the notes about the things I saw him doing. So
does Sonny Styles have ridiculous things scribbled next to him?
No, basically 6'5", 244, 449, 447, verified like 448.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous to me.
That was, and he ran smooth too. It was a very smooth.
He's it's really not surprising.
What they call it, a gate.
Yeah,
gate.
But the vertical jump.
I was going to say 43.5 vertical at that size is still surprising, no matter how explosive he looks. That's ridiculous.
Why didn't no one was like, go up front? Like, anyone trying to pick apart at him being too tall for a linebacker and leverage and getting down and all that versus
it's funny.
Go play DN.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because there's things that you can look at him playing as that off-ball linebacker. And I studied him really, really early in the process. And I was like, yeah, cool. This guy's I mean, if I could, this kid was recruited as a safety and he became a linebacker in 2024. So he hasn't played linebacker very long. And his dad, I scouted his dad. But he's the notes, very good athlete for the position, really good job at being in the right place, right time as a player, where you see him out of position in the defense, really good with communication, how he works with others. You can see the way he does it pre-snap. For a guy, that's kind of a little bit of your safety background. Where on the crossing routes, where the threats are coming from, where to carry routes. Yeah, impressive speed for the sides to close on the ball. These are things you saw, sideline to sideline. Plays down in space, physical player. I mean, these are all things that you see on tape. But there's some things where early in the season he wasn't as good getting off blocks. This was, you watched him play. By the time they got to the game that was played here in Indianapolis against Indiana, he was doing a much better job of playing with his hands. And maybe that's because of, again, being a former safety player and then having to kind of learn the nuances of the game.
Was that a Saban thing, moving safety as a linebacker?
That happened with Urlacher 25 years ago.
Yeah, he was New Mexico, and I remember. Yeah, it's a good question because I don't have a good answer for you on that one. That's the thing. There's some guys I watched work out yesterday that were linebackers that I felt like need to be that safety, that nickel role we're all kind of talking about. I know when we get Coach Parker here, there's going to be some questions. Remember last year it was the buzzwords were pin and pull and all that. We were talking about offensive line play. Well, now with Christian Parker, we're going to be talking about nickel hybrid linebackers, that kind of stuff. But, yeah, this guy, when you watched him on tape, you should not be surprised of how well he worked out yesterday.
Yeah,
you should. The way he moved and all that, the tape told you. Watch the Texas game, watch the Penn State game. Just watch this kid play. That part of it's not surprising to me.
Bobby, who else were the winners and losers that jumped out?
I'll tell you what, the losers were just guys who were because of what God measured them at, which is Cassius Howell and Ruben Bain. Both of them coming in with arms that were under 31 inches, which is...
The Bain arms have taken over here as a story.
Dane Brugler said it yesterday.
I'll take the kid at 12. Just let him come down the board. Just let me hand in the card.
Kuiper's talking like he could go between 15 and 20.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get him in the third round now.
Listen. There's this kid. If you watch him play, how many times, by the way, do we see offensive tackles or blockers fully extend on defensive players? How many times have you watched a guy and go, wow, he's really full extension on that guy? If a tackle or blocker's full extension on the guy, you know what he's probably over his feet. He's probably off balance. He's probably leaning too far. So
you've never cared about arm length?
I do not care about arm length when I watched a kid for 17 weeks defeat blocker after blocker after blocker.
Yeah.
When you get to a point where you have maybe a deficiency, you have to figure out ways. What's the one way you can keep somebody from using their long arms on you? Tell me about it. You got one? Anybody got a thought?
How you can
speed
keep them?
outside, run around them?
There you go. Speed. How about slap their hands? How about push their hands?
Yeah.
How about dip underneath them? How about as they're trying to get their hands on you, you dip and get underneath, and now they're leaning off balance, and you take advantage of the weight transfer.
He does all that.
This kid does all that.
Yeah.
Him, Hal, these guys that might have a deficiency physically make up for it for something else. Bain has, I think, some rare explosive ability to play this game.
The numbers that got
I'll take him at 12. I have no problem with doing that.
The numbers that got attached to this, we've never had an edge rusher drafted inside the top 100 with sub 31-inch arms.
Yeah.
What else was there, Choppy?
That was it. That was the main stat.
30 7/8 and 30 1/4 for Howell as well. Cassius Howell would be the shortest arms for an edge rusher drafted in the first round since at least 1999.
And Bain had the third shortest ever, I guess.
Those arm lengths, by the way, those are considered short sometimes for corner. Like
Okay.
that is
Let
very
me
small.
throw another thing at you. And Bobby, you're a historian of the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Last year,
He says he is.
Last year, they ran a stat. Check Dane Brugler's, and I think I have this right. 48 players at the combine that were measured, and then went to their pro day. 43 players out of the 48 had longer arms.
Yeah. That's
Longer than what?
Longer than measured here at the combine.
Oh.
That is generally thought to be. Oh, I'll put this tape measure some home cooking though, like a little bit high. It's like you measuring the 40-yard dash at 38 yards.
43 of 48.
Huh?
43 of 48 were changed.
I know.
43
Brian,
of 48.
But Brian, let's
no, I've sat there.
It's like when you go, I'm clocking you at 38 yards.
I sat there and watched the guy from the San Diego Chargers F up everybody's hand measurements.
Yeah, I'm like.
I watched him. I go, the guy's not doing it right.
Do either of those players look like they have great length though?
Do either one of those players make explosive plays?
I don't have a problem with. I'm just saying, like,
Well, Bobby,
they're good. They're
it's
good.
not like if this was a kid that was playing, and no offense to Montana Tech or Utah College for Teachers or whatever.
Brian is anti-teacher.
If we're doing that, I just watched that kid for 17 weeks play at a really high level.
He's good. It's just there's definitely questions about his body type is different. His length is
I have not
great.
heard anybody talk about this body type until we got to this place and measured his arms.
No, Brian.
I'll bet you
Brian,
all have
look,
longer arms.
the body. Okay, look.
Be quiet, real quick. Have you guys talked about this player at any time in your shows?
Yes.
As a player?
Yes.
Without talking about arm length?
Yes.
Loud, boys.
Okay.
We just called him a monster. This has never come up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This has never come up.
We've talked about him.
But I can maybe save future arguing, even though I think it's great radio. Would you take him at 12, Bobby?
No, I'm not as big a fan of Bain.
Would you take him at 20?
Yes.
Okay.
I would take him in the first round. I just wouldn't take him at 12.
So are the arms a thing for you?
No. You can use length differently.
Okay.
Like
See,
there
he's
are
agreeing
ways
with you.
there are ways to manipulate.
Oh, he
length.
was about to until I went after him.
No, because you're still wrong about the body type. People have talked about his body type. He is an oddly shaped
I thought he was Brandon Graham.
Brandon Graham was talked about as an oddly shaped edge rusher.
But played a million years.
Okay, but here's the thing, Brian. When we've looked at in the course of the history of the way we talk about measurements, is that Brian, don't get worked up. Look, when we talk about measurements, Emmanuel Forbes. You liked Emmanuel Forbes, right? And the league kept saying we've never seen anybody that looks like this at the position, and that's terrifying.
The corner at 163 pounds is different.
This is still somebody they've never seen this body type.
Do you think
they've never
there's a
seen
problem
it.
that Burrow had small hands?
I'll tell you one thing. I learned this being around.
Or Goff?
I learned this about, it's funny, the golf thing. We were standing at the combine, and Kavanaugh, like somebody was asking Goff about his small hands, and Kavanaugh was standing right there, and he goes, my hands aren't small. And then you hear Jeff going, tell him your hands aren't small. Tell him your hands aren't small. Like Jeff was kind of egging him on.
He got to 9, though, Burrow. He did get to 9.
Let me tell you what, man. Joe Burrow playing in cold weather is just fine. Usually your cold weather quarterbacks, you want to, you were talking about the hand measurements. I think you were asking a Will about that yesterday or something.
I did.
Look, I'm with you, Broaddus. I'd be doing backflips if he fell.
This team has no pass rushers.
Yep.
I mean, I say that in respect to Donovan Ezeraku.
Yeah.
I say that
as a pure pass rusher.
They have nobody that could get guys on the ground.
As a pure pass rusher, I like Howell better than I like Bain.
No, I can't go there. I like Howell, and I'll tell you this though. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they took Howell. I've said this before. I think this
not a 12, right? But a 20.
At 20.
At 20, I think they absolutely could.
Yeah, I think they would.
All right, so that was Bain. That was good debate, fellas.
My arms are in charge.
What?
That was awful.
Oh, that was your Bain impersonation. That was pretty bad. Your boy, Jermod McCoy, continues to have everyone scratching their head around here. The cornerback, Tennessee, says fully healed from the knee injury and expects to perform full slate of the pro day. We're going to wait for the pro day.
We're going to wait for the pro day. He's not going to do anything here. He's going to give himself an extra, what?
About 3 weeks, yeah.
About 2 weeks
yeah.
before to heal.
Understandable, fine, or worry?
It's grass versus turf, too.
If your situation is, well, you're going to work out the indoor facility there in Tennessee. You're going to work out.
Yeah, it's true.
They're going to work out. They're not going to unless the scouts request that he runs on the field at Neyland Stadium. I don't think he's going to do that. But me personally, if I had no time on him or not seen him worked out, I would worry.
That scared you away from Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, yeah.
And he fell all the way to the second round.
Thank you.
And by the way, Bain,
how long did? Oh wait, we're 7:33, 6:33. You're making sense now.
Bain did say no teams have brought up my arm length in meetings, and people are like, "Dude, you didn't get it,"
because they know they're going to measure him again, and it's not going to be.
What's brought up my arms?
People, I heard Jesse Holly talking about this. Jesse goes, "You couldn't have gotten a haircut, man. You couldn't have got a shape up coming out here. Like, you're in front of the entire world." And Bain is like, "I have zero hobbies. I don't care about anything else. All I care about is football."
Oh, that's good.
That's the way to project it.
I think I'm looking at him and believing it. I'm believing it, though.
Sean would have gone, "Your mama."
No, show up without a haircut.
Not to Bain, he wouldn't.
Solid move.
Although he could duck Bain's reach.